Ladies and gentlemen, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I am Grandmaster Goj, a professional Warzone commentator, and in this video, I break down all of the teams that are participating for the World Series of Warzone under FaZe Swagg. I'm going to break it all down for you. I have information on just about every single player.
But how the you know this? Is you the LBI? CIA? What's your deal?
So I hope you like this video. Should be a short and sweet one. Let me know what you think in the comments below of who you think is going to win. And if they won, why do you think they were the ones that won the tournament? And which captain do you think has the best team overall? Make sure you subscribe to the channel right now. There's 79% of you that watch my videos that are not subscribed to the channel. So please do that, as well as go follow me on Twitch where I do all of this stuff live. Hope you enjoy the video. Let's talk about some of these teams. We'll start with Team Swagg's teams that he's drafted, and we'll talk about the teams that I think could do pretty well in this tournament. To start with Team Swagg, you've got Swagg, Booyah, and Biffle. This is honestly the strongest team on this list. I don't see anybody else on this list that can compete with these guys in terms of kill races. I think gun skill wise, they're all three extremely talented, and I think they will be a top 10 team, or have the potential to be a top 10 team pretty easily, without too much issue. We all know Biffle is probably the best player in Warzone period right now, especially in public matches and just frying everyone. Next on this list that is probably up into the top 10 as well is Iceman Isaac, OP Marked, and Devious. So OP Marked, if you guys don't know, is the leading wins in the game right now by a lot. Next is to OP Marked is Iron. They're the top two, with Devious being in the top 5 as well. There's another person by the name of Yeet and Shaded Step, all in that range. They all play together all the time. OP Marked and Iron had this weird kind of like falling out. Devious, Shaded Step, and Yeet have all been playing with both parties, OP Marked and Iron, for a really long time. OP Marked has been practicing private matches forever, played a ton of private matches, plays with Warzone scrims, plays in all the private match tournaments, has always been one of the best in private matches, sets himself up for success in the end game. He won the XSET 1K tournament that we did in private match scene, and Devious has been a teammate of his as well as competed against him and always performed well as well. So both of these guys know private matches well. And then you have, in my opinion, one of the highest IQ Warzone players out there with Iceman Isaac. The man is brilliant. He's a very strong IQ player, and his mechanical skills have come a really long way, and he's become a top competitor even with the lower KD that he's had in the past. In Warzone tournaments. You've seen him compete at a very high level in most every tournament at this point, and has been doing very, very well. And is really honestly one of the better teammates you see in most Warzone tournaments. Whenever Iceman plays with somebody else, he has great comms, he has great callouts, he knows how to rotate a map correctly, and I don't think he will be leading the charge here. They'll probably kind of refer to OP Marked. But Iceman will be a perfect support character for OP Marked in this type of this team and how they rotate. I think Iceman could bring just a touch more aggressiveness to their gameplay, because he knows that side of the things as well. So I think this is a really balanced team. Honestly, my guess is OP Marked will play the specialist kind of like rocket launch game. Devious will play the snipe game a little bit, and Iceman will be their kind of slayer, and they'll all play together as a unit, and I think it could be a really good combo. So this is the other team I've been looking at for a while. I mentioned Shaded Step just a moment ago, also on this squad, on this overall team Swagg. You've got Shaded Step, Reed Boy, and Bonk. So Reed Boy has recently kind of entered into this realm of going for wins and playing with OP Marked, Devious, Shaded Step, Yeet, Iron, all of those types of people, right? Reed Boy is the only, I believe, the only console player that I know of, at least that I know the name of, that is playing in this tournament and is a high-level player. He's been on top of all the leaderboards. He's an insane grinder. He's one of those guys that just grinds all leaderboards like all the time. He's blown up recently. I'm excited for Reed Boy to play. He's a good player, and he's going to be playing with Shaded Step. Both are high-level performers in private matches, and kind of an unknown name that I know of because of our XSET tournament is Bonk. Type of one in the chat if anybody in the chat knows who Bonk is. B-O-N-Q. So Bonk actually competed in our XSET tournament as well, and he was within the he was going for top 3, I believe, and I think he ended up getting second in our second XSET tournament, right behind OP Marked. Bonk has been playing for wins as well in kind of a different way. So he does play slower. He does play like the same sort of game as like Shaded Step, Devious, OP Marked, Iron, and all those guys, but he does it kind of in his own he's got his own personality around it. He doesn't like play with those guys all the time necessarily, but he does like win all. I mean, he had like, I think he had like a 17 win streak or something in Warzone one time. He's kind of crazy, and in customs he's performed at a high level. So he, Reed Boy, and Shaded Step playing together is going to be a really good combo. I know they've been looking at Bonk as kind of like a competitor for a long time, so for them to come together, that'll be a really good team. This is another one to add to this list. I mean, you can't keep going from Team Swagg without talking about Super Evan, Lucky, and Repulse. All three guys are fantastic players. Super Evan arguably in the top 5 for the best players of all time in Warzone, no question. Lucky and Repulse have ungodly chemistry together as well with Super Evan. They're all really close friends. They're all teaming up together. I think Swagg kind of said it back best. Repulse and Lucky have become this like they've been this like these like idols of high energy for a long time, specifically Repulse. I mean, he has the one of the highest sub counts on all of Twitch, and earlier, and even still up to like 20k subs right now, with an average viewership of around like 1,000 to 2,000 or something like that, right? And the reason is because he's so high energy and so lovable and so friendly, all that kind of things. And Repulse and Lucky have both been kind of doing that for a long time. And so they haven't had, they're more of these like thought about as these like content creators. They're both insanely twisted. Like, regardless of the whole like Duma situation, all the kill rates and stuff, it doesn't matter. You put them in any lobby, they're gonna be some of the best players. And I think what Swagg said was like, hey, my boys Repulse and Lucky didn't get a fair shake in a lot of tournaments. They don't get a lot of opportunities comparatively. And so playing with Super Evan it could put them on the big stage here, and I think they're going to be helpful for Team Swagg. And so they're definitely a team to look out for. Some of my sleeper picks in this list, I think Picnic Bats and Oakley Boy are some of the most underrated players in the game right now. They're both Facebook gaming streamers. They're going to be streaming on Twitch for this event because they have to. But Picnic and Oak play together all the time, like all the time. And they're gonna have a lot of chemistry. They played a lot of private match tournaments. They play tournaments almost every other day. And Brittany Reigns is definitely not some massive weight on them. She's not necessarily the most skilled player I've ever seen, but she understands the game more than well enough to be able to compete and hang with these two guys, who will probably carry through that game and through these next 6 games, and it could do very well. Couple other underrated teams on this list. I know Jelly, I know Gabby, I think she's a pretty decent player, but Jelly and Skullface are both fantastic players. Twisted Timmy's younger guys that just are actual demons. So as long as they perform well today and can stay in a good headspace, I think they'll be really good. Gooey Guy's great. Cranks is great. Arrays and IQ haven't gotten as many opportunities as they probably should in tournaments. They're twisted. They won a lot together. And add on Smixy, who's absolutely cracked. One of the best Warzone females out there by far, arguably up into the top 20, 30 or so Warzone players in general, but definitely the top female, or one of the top females for sure. This is a really good squad. I think he did a really good job. I mean, I know who Nobu Spartan is. I think he's a good player. I've heard Scripta and Patience before, and Boss Lady. I think they're all pretty good. This is a really solid squad, pretty well rounded. I think they could do well.